And so, okay, so, all right, so Tokyo Ghoul, good to know. So humans versus ghouls, what's the objective? They just like, they want to wipe out the ghouls and they're Wait a minute, they find
suicide victims,
and that's bad.
and then they just take that body instead of actually attacking a human being.
So they find a suicide victim.
Right.
They eat that instead.
Instead of attacking a human.
Okay. The good ones only do that. It's kind of like Interview with the Vampire. The Brad Pitt where it just eats rats or whatever, right? So it is like somehow less bad. Even though the rat community is like... Okay. All right, Tokyo Ghoul. So what episode are we on right now for the broadcast? What is that? Oh, it's over. Oh, that's why I'm not recording for it anymore. Yeah, because there was a time we were doing that pretty quickly. Oh, it's done. Oh, okay. Back to fairy tale. Yeah, I mean, hey, and free. Free, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yes.
Why are you doing the second season and why you skipped the first one?
Oh.
I haven't really heard Carl yet.
Okay. Why we did the second season and not the first one? Well, you know, once I thought about that, I'm not quite sure how much I can say about that because there's like some, what did you say? Did you say drugs? It's not about drugs. You want to do free season 1, I need the drugs. Bring me the cocaina. We just want to dump the show. Cocaina now! Okay, so, I don't know how much I can say about free, because there's a lot of like, there's a little bit of a power thing going on with two different companies, and I don't know how much I can say about that.
What can you tell us about Star Trek?
About Star Trek? I'm glad you asked. So, okay, so Star Trek. Star Trek continues. How many people have never... See, you teach me things, now I teach you things. How many people have never heard of Star Trek Continues? It's okay if you haven't. I will not be mad at you. I'm lying, I'm mad at you. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit of Star Trek Continues then. So I'll explain it too. So as Star Trek Continues, Vic Mignogna, my convention husband, not by choice, it was an arranged marriage. He loves Star Trek. Loves it. Loves the original series. Thinks there's no other Star Trek in the world that exists, even though there have been many series, but he loves the original series, which is great because it's got Shatner and the late Leonard McCoy was Dr. McCoy, Leonard Nimoy. And so a lot of great things, a lot of great things about the original series. And so he loved it, and when he got the means, he wanted to recreate it. Because if you remember, the original series is a 5-year mission, but they canceled it after 3 years. So there's 2 years that have not been done. They just ended the show. And they did it in a way that was very, they didn't know it was going to be canceled. So at the end of the last episode, Bones, Spock, and Kirk go into the turbo lift. It closes. That's the end of the show because they didn't know it was going to be the end. How many people were fans of the original series? Anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 6, 8. Okay, so that's awesome. The 50th anniversary is next year. It's very exciting. So they go into the turbo lift and it ends. Well, what we do to continue it is we shot for shot the last 5 minutes of the episode, of that last final episode, and then once we go into the turbo lift, we continue it from there. And we go, exactly, you read my mind. As Baby was saying, we continue it onto the bridge and it becomes, hopefully, a continuation. Yeah, you're right, that was something we should have worked on. I'm gonna disagree with you there, Baby. Okay, so we go on the bridge and we continue it. Now, just to let you know who's in the cast, the original Scotty, his son is Chris Doohan, and he is our Scotty. Now, and he has these great stories about growing up with Star Trek and things like that, and he's in all the J.J. Abrams movies and the original Star Trek movie. And Grant Imahara from Mythbusters, he's our Sulu. He's such a small guy. Grant is so tiny. Hey, that's what I told him. And he looked at me and goes, "What are you saying?" And I went, "Ah!"
You're smaller than a baby.
Turns out I was just having a midday stroke. So, we have that. Now we have the largest recreation of the original sets in the world. We have a 20,000 square foot facility located in Kingsland, Georgia, where it has now been newly named Stage 9, which is the name of the original stage that they shot it on in Desilu Studios. So we have this 20,000 square foot facility. It was awesome. The original shuttlecraft, the Galileo, there's a shuttlecraft that was only in one episode, more than one episode, but it hasn't been seen since the original series. It's located at Space Center Houston, and we got special permission to go and shoot on that shuttlecraft at Space Center Houston. It was very cool. Our first episode, in the original episode, there was a guy named Apollo. It was in one of the episodes. We got him to come out of retirement and reprise his role 45 years later. It was awesome. Second episode, we had Lou Ferrigno, who was guest star. Third episode, we had... I don't think we had anybody. Oh, Worf. Worf was the voice of our computer. Counselor Troy's the voice of our computer normally. For the fourth episode, we've got Colin Baker, who was the sixth Doctor. Doctor Who. He's in it. A very nice guy, super nice guy. For the fifth episode, we won't talk about the fifth episode, but it's going to be really groovy. But so, we just had a successful Kickstarter. This was our second one, and we're going to build Scotty's full engineering room, which is bigger than the bridge, and we're going to build the first ever planet set. No fan series has ever had a planet set, so we're doing that. So what I'll do is I'll show you some of this business, and so you can check it out, and we'll see. Let's see. Star Trek continues. Oh my God. Let's see. Beam up Scotty, tour the USS Enterprise. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll tour the set with little Manana, little baby Manana. Papa Manana. This is not the set. That's not it.
75 years. Captain's waiting to give you a tour of Wisconsin now.
That's me.
It's gonna be dark by the time. Gotta go.
All right, here we go.
I hope you're ready, because this is a little bit jarring when you turn this corner. You are stepping onto the USS Enterprise. This soundstage is laid out exactly the way the original series soundstage was. Had you gone to Desilu 50 years ago, you would have found that the original series sets were laid out, interconnected exactly the way you are about to see them.
We put a lot of effort into trying to duplicate the sets as closely as possible to the original series in 1968.
When we first walked onto these Star Trek sets, it was incredible.
Now, the first room we're going to come to, if you see, that probably is the biggest clue that it's going to be sick bay. You walk through here, here is the whole sick bay. Now, I like coming back here because this is, you swing around here, and this
That
is
bed
the
right there in the bottom
iconic
left,
shot
that's where I
that
take
people
my
remember of
naps.
sick bay, right? Come out of sick bay,
Totally.
we take a left, and we find ourselves immediately at a short hallway. What's down this hallway? One of the favorite sets in Star Trek, the transporter room.
Delicious.
The original transporter pads these babies, were actually Fresnel lenses. They were movie lenses. We actually borrowed an actual Fresnel lens, the same size as the one they used, and then we did a resin casting of it. So all of these are resin castings of original lenses, and then we cut holes out of the floor, and we lit them from underneath.
Real
So we
high
continue
tech.
down the corridor, and this is